Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's March 15th, 2018, and today I've got a question for you Tesla or other EV owners out there. Here's the situation. I live in central New York, Oswego, New York, not too far from Buffalo, New York, or Rochester, or Boonville, where the big snowmobile capital of the world is, I think. But we live in an area around the Great Lakes where we get lots of lake effect snow. And we designed our property so that the main driveway, which is 350 foot long, it's 24 foot wide, it has a crown to it. It's designed with high wind velocities that can clear the driveway pretty much. So when we have 2 foot of snow of lake effect that drops, if there's any wind at all, it's only about 6 inches accumulates at the crown of the driveway. And that works out fantastic. That way, my wife Thea can drive off to work every day, or I used to be able to do it with my Prius. Thea drives a Camry hybrid. The Camry hybrid has a ground clearance of 5.9 inches. And today's video really stems, and I've really been wondering how well these Teslas do in heavy pothole areas and in areas that have really challenging snow loads without the plows being out there, because there are many hours. When Thea drove home last night, she drove through about 6 inches of snow on the roads, and our road hadn't been plowed because we live in the country. And I hadn't plowed it. Now I use a snow blower, so I hadn't blown the snow off the driveway since about just before noon yesterday afternoon. So this morning, we had drifts, some of them a little over 2 feet tall. Some areas where it was right down to maybe 2-3 inches of solidly packed snow from the high winds. We had very high winds. And it's very dense, heavy, wet snow. When we're about the freezing level and we get lots of precipitation, the snow is very moist, very heavy. It's backbreaker snow around here. So if you try to shovel it, you really got to take small scoops. This is the type of snow that if you're running a snowblower, it plugs up your chute and you're just pushing it. Now we use a big snowblower that's 3 foot tall, hooks on the front end of a 4-wheel drive tractor, and we're able to do that. But it'll push snow 20 feet before it starts going up into the auger, into the system, the augers. So that's the sort of snow we're dealing with today. Now, Thea's my wife. She drives the Camry hybrid. She takes off in the morning. I usually don't worry about the snow. I'll go out during the daytime if it's deemed necessary to blow the snow. I don't like it snow blowing this time of year because we're right at that thawing level, so the snowblower can get down and dig right into the gravel of the driveway or the lawn if I'm over in the lawn area and the tractor tires start to sink. So it makes a real mess. So the least amount of snow blowing I can do is the rule of thumb. But the main question I have is, those of you who've had EVs and all, what sort of challenges have you put your vehicles through? I sent an email off to a featured creator that I featured last week, and that was Zach from Now You Know. Zach and Jesse are the 2 hosts of that show, and I'll put a link to their video down below. And Zach bounced an email back, and he showed that he had driven up an incline, and I believe it was probably a paved driveway. I don't know that, but it probably had about 1 inch. And I think they'd done some touring around with their new, I think their Bridgestone Blizzard snow tires.
Hey everybody, Zach here from Now You Know. It just started snowing about an hour ago, and we figured this would be a great way to test out the new snow tires on the Model 3. Alright, so these are the Bridgestone Blizzacs that we've got on the Model 3. These are the 19-inch, and we got these put on last month, and now we're getting a chance to test them out. Wow, you can feel the motors doing their magic there. It just kept doing its thing and found its way up. That's the 3rd time up. I am so impressed. I've driven enough cars to know that no car with regular tires would probably make it up this unless it had really amazing all-wheel drive. Even going down is scary because, I mean, if your back end starts going out on you or something, it's easy to smash into that mailbox. That was just, it felt so good. It felt so confident going up something that would normally be just a treacherous driveway. I mean, all right, so driving over here, it's been snowing for over an hour now, and it's 26 degrees. The snow's coming down fast. We drove on untreated roads, and the entire time I felt really confident. Anything I asked the car to do, going up hills, going down hills, making turns, I felt really solid. All right, so Bobby is risking his life here for Now You Know. He is taking some shots of us driving around in this parking lot that has not been plowed yet or treated. And I'm just trying to get the lay of the land here. All right, we're gonna go drive straight at Bobby. It feels so solid. Every turn I'm making just feels like I'm on dry pavement. No slippage whatsoever. So we're back from our little expedition out into the snowy tundra. You can see it's snowing all around, and thank you so much for watching, everybody. We love to do videos like this to tell you about conditions and things with the Model 3 that you've been asking, and one of the big questions has been, how does the Model 3 handle the snow? And hopefully we just showed you that the rear-wheel drive with snow tires handled fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that little bell button if you would like to be notified of new episodes. If you like the episode, hit like, and that shares it with other people who might want to know about the Model 3 in the snow. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Now you know.
And they had done it with their all-season tires before that, a video before that. And that really isn't challenging enough. It really doesn't meet our needs here in this part of the country, because you need to really be able to have your bottom plate where the batteries are right on top of that snow and see how well those vehicles do. Whether it's a Nissan Leaf, certainly the new Hyundai, and I can't think of the other vehicles right now, but there's several more affordable vehicles that are coming up that are EVs as well. I personally am waiting for the pickup truck to come out as an EV, so I'm nursing my 15-year-old truck at this point, which is necessary to do all the heavy work around here. But Thea's car had a bit of a hard time getting out the driveway. She did. It bottomed out. It's 5.9 inches round clearance. She bottomed out most of the way up there, had to push through a couple of drifts that were over 2 feet deep. Some areas that didn't bottom out was probably only 5 inches deep in those areas, but her tires were probably on 2 to 3 inches of compacted, slushy, partially frozen material. And one of the things I noticed in one of the videos with Zach's Model 3, it looked like when Jesse was driving it, I'm not sure if it's Jesse's or Zach's or it's both of theirs, but when Jesse was driving it, when he went to hit the, I guess hit the gas, hit the electricity, what would happen would be, as soon as the tire would start to spin, it would slow down. There's probably some sensors in it that would automatically tend to slow the tire down. And with the hybrids, although there's some enhanced economy with the battery when the motor's off and all, and I'm not going to get into that, it's a gasoline-powered engine that can keep pushing through all the way through. And her tires really weren't spinning through the process, but it did have to keep digging in. Now, hers is front-wheel drive, and I believe Jesse and Zach's vehicle is a rear-wheel drive. I know the all-wheel drive will be coming out as well, but I'm really interested in finding out, those of you who have EVs, will you please try, go out before anybody blows the snow and see what can happen. Risk getting stuck. I know there was one YouTuber who showed his Model X going off-road, going in a bumpy. I wouldn't expect that. He just did a lot of damage to his vehicle. It broke my heart seeing that happen. So that isn't something that I would like to see. But we live in an area of the country where there's lots of gravel beds. Actually, my next 2 doors down, the next door neighbor and the neighbor after that are two large gravel beds. So we have large dump trucks, 18-wheeler dump trucks. We have the dump truck with the additional dump trailer that gets pulled behind them, loading up on gravel, going to all the construction sites all around this area. Some of it's going to a big concrete factory that makes concrete. So if you can imagine these big trucks running all the time, there's lots of potholes as well. So the two big challenges we have are roads that aren't plowed very well, our driveway that isn't plowed very well, and lots of potholes. So what are your thoughts with EVs? What challenges have you put your vehicles through? So I know whether we should try and stay away from a Model 3 or a Leaf or any of the new ones, the Bolt out there. Based on what I see people doing, I'm really interested in the ground clearance, the type of wheel drive system, whether which sounds like a fascinating feature that the wheel actually slows down when it notices some slip as well. It's going to help us decide what vehicle we're going to ultimately get that's electric in the future. So I really appreciate you taking the time to follow this video through. By now you will have seen some of the video clips that I've included in the process from this morning Thea taking off, and me walking the driveway as well. So I'm really interested in any feedback. If this video is of value, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to leave comments, ask questions, direct me to videos that you think that show more than just being in a couple inches of snow on paved roads. I'm really interested in seeing how well these vehicles handle some of the adverse conditions that are just part of everyday life around here. So thanks so much for watching, folks, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.